Okay, guys. Now there was several Planetary one-shots that came out, right? Just these little prestige one-shot stories that came out, and in my mind, two of these came out just kind of keep Planetary in your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's the book is sort of on hiatus until our creators can get back to it. The book had a great buzz on it. I can understand wanting to keep it out there and stuff. But the first one shot I'm going to do, it's not chronologically the one that came out, but it did come out while the books were all of a sudden sporadically, coming out almost to the point where people are like, "Have they quit? Did it disappear? They're going to finish it?" And but it's a fun one. That's why I want to do the first one because the one shots actually don't really do a whole lot to move the book along, the story of Planetary in the regular series. Okay, and this one cracks me up because in my mind, it's a great team up, and we're going to stick Batman in it, so it's going to sell. But Warren Ellis sort of was able to kind of play around with the whole idea of the bleed and the multiverse and still touch on the history of comics a little bit and stuff. But it also, to me, it was sort of like reminding people that, yeah, you might be liking the Authority and what Warren Ellis is doing now and Planetary and all these things that are going on. But hey, we're going to remind you we got Batman. That's this guy. That's what I think. And it's a fun issue. I always pick them up when I can find them. But so you can look at it proper. This is Planetary Batman. Night on Earth. Warren Ellis, John Cassidy. Okay, fantastic artwork in this artwork. If you're a Batman fan, this is definitely for you. Okay, and it actually kind of reminds me of something that would happen in Zero Hour, where they had a Man of Steel issue where throughout the whole issue, Batman kept finding different versions of Batman popping up due to time being messed up. So it's kind of what this is. Okay, and it's very sexually charged. That's what's kind of funny. The subtext of this one is that it's very sexually charged. So what happens is that even though this one came out while Planetary were in the teens, well after Elijah Snow had regained his memory and was kind of running things, this one they arrive into Gotham. I guess that is Gotham City. That is in Planetary World. Elijah Snow remembers some things about Gotham, but he forgot that they had a Planetary office in Gotham. Okay, Planetary offices are all over the place, and he even comments, "Are you guys ever going to show me or let me know where all these are?" And the people that are running the Planetary office end up being Dick Grayson, and his assistant is the Joker. And Dick Grayson is very coy, very soft spoken, kind of shy. Gives Jaquita a little compliment, about her being gorgeous and sexy, and then he introduces his assistant, and it's basically the Joker, and he's like, he's kind of got the giggles looking at her. So Warren Ellis kind of makes them look like goofballs and stuff, right? So I have no idea where this really happens in the chronological order of the story, but this came out, well, like I said, well after, not the one to say anything, but yeah, there's our little assistants. There's Dick Grayson and the Joker. What's it, Jasper, I think is his name, assistant to Jasper. So to get on with it, man, we have a little fun with this one, okay? Drummer gets to a TV, and while Elijah is explaining to Chiquita, how everything's kind of like a dump, Gotham City is a dump, there's a sex shop across the street. They're looking across the street, and they turn around, the drummer is watching an alien porn channel down here at the bottom, you know, sort of just giving us an excuse to see exactly what drummer's powers are. Because thus far, I don't care what they say, you can love Planetary and stuff. To me, the drummer's been absolutely useless. He's sort of a plot device to kind of move the story along. If there's anything electronic or bugged or anything like that, that's when the drummer will be referenced or step up, and he's took care of it. I mean, that's all there is to it. So basically, they're showing there's very weird things going on in Gotham. They've been finding dead bodies. They've got a guy named John Black that come up. They're not quite sure what's going on. And then they show a picture of three men who are merged. They're all dead, and from what I remember, they're all three the same guy, not triplets, nothing like that. They're all dead, and all of a sudden it's like he just sprouted more heads and more arms, and it's just grotesque. All of a sudden Elijah Snow is like, "Damn it, 1986." Now, see if your comic book referencing mine. Let's go through our little Rolodex in our head there. But what happened in 1986 in the history of comics? And Elijah Snow flat out says, more or less, is referencing Crisis on Infinite Earths in a very vague way, and saying that, oh man, this happened back then when there's some Earths trying to merge, and out of those 5 Earths trying to become one Earth, in the bleed and all this stuff through this little crisis, this is what happened to 3 of the Earths. Everybody merged and died like that or something like that. So we've got our villain, we've got our problem. We got to stop John Black because apparently this is the man that's making this happen, and apparently he's able to access the bleed a little bit. Very sci-fi plot device. And they keep going, and this is where it gets fun. They find John Black. John Black freaks out. He has this blue energy coming from him, and all of a sudden they look up and they're like, oh my god, what did he do? John Black's gone. And as they look up, here comes our first version of the Batman. Alright, beautiful artwork. If you're a Batman fan, you're going to see several versions going through this, and this is just great. And the reason this book actually was popular there for a short time, the reason everybody wanted it, is everybody got a kick out of how Chiquita was like, oh man, tell me you're single. This Batman is tough, and he's dark, and he's dressed in leather, and he whips out these 2 gigantic swords that look like bat wings. Chiquita's got her 2 sticks that she's picked up somewhere, and they're going to fight, and she's just in love, and they're fighting and everything like that. And, just to insert this, man, I love my Batman. I love my Batman, right? But I think it is complete crap to sit here and act like Batman can beat anybody. He can go toe-to-toe with anybody. I don't care. It's not plausible. Okay? So it's one of those things where I just check my brain at the door and just go along with what Warren Ellis is doing here with this book and everything like that. Because there's no way in the world that Batman is going to go toe-to-toe with Chiquita Wagner, who is super fast, super strong, super invulnerable, and there's no way he's going to be able to sit there and take 2 swords to her 2 sticks and go toe-to-toe. I mean, she's incredibly fast to begin with. I mean, I think you see where I'm going. I don't have to break this down. So check your brain at the door on this one. So as Chiquita is sitting there and they're having like a little subtle sexually charged talk and everything like that, with their little banner and stuff like that, Elijah and Drummer keep going after John Black, and every time he falls or gets stressed or something like that, his blue power happens. His eyes go blue. The little blue dome comes up. And we get a different version of Batman pop up all of a sudden after these great fight scenes, action scenes that we're seeing, and that's what's fighting and everything like that. So in the middle of our Batman that Chiquita Wagner finds so sexy and has been fighting, the energy catches up, and he turns into Adam West Batman. Old chum and little lady, and all of a sudden, man, it is the Adam West Batman from the TV show. And she's like, what happened to the other guy? You're a lot less sexy now. Her heart is already broken after thinking she found the man. It was just hilarious, right? And just, go along with it, man. We have this version of Batman also gives her bat apologies while he hits her with some bat spray. I'm assuming it's, right up there with probably the bat shark spray. Who knows? And he runs. And then we go to Elijah Snow, who is now dealing with the Batman Frank Miller. There's a transition, the power hits, and we have our Frank Miller Dark Knight Batman going on. Okay, so I think you see where this is going, and we have a lot of reference there with references to our Batman history, and then all of a sudden we get what I think is looks like our 70s, 80s Batman, that we all know and love, So, we're having a little back and forth. I'm going to say this is the Neil Adams Batman because there's just a touch of a little of those Neil Adams blacks there that, made him realistic there with the Denny O'Neil stories back in the early 70s. And it would also make sense to go from Adam West Batman referenced in here and then throw in the Neil Adams one because the Batman TV show had the Bat books canceled. And Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams saved him and stuff. So we still have Jack Black going on. And all of a sudden we go all the way back to the 40s, the Batman of the 40s. And this Batman did use a gun before Robin came along and stuff, okay? Even in the front of the book, they have a disclaimer on the front cover. Okay, down here, and I'll read it to you, just to let you know, because I know Batman having a gun was going to be an issue. They knew it, But they say, this book honors several versions of Batman from past eras and should be taken in the context of the time each represents. The Batman holding a gun on page 40 is the same as depicted in Detective Comics number 32 from 1939, okay? I mean, Superman and Batman actually killed people. I mean, we're talking drop them off roofs, just let them blow up in a building. They deserved it, little bit more of a different kind of justice back then in the golden age. And there's a few things going on here with Play with the Bleed, and then we get this version of Batman that I don't think a lot of people have seen. And if I remember right, this was an Alex Ross design that really didn't get used, so they stuck it in here. A little bit of a futuristic Batman there. That's how I always read it. And of course, there's some banter and there's some talk, and it ends, and we have our walking away. But yeah, basically just a Planetary Batman one-shot. Okay, references a little 80s, references the history of a character and how they can evolve through the eras and the decades. A little fun, little jokes. It's just a fun read. Just a fun read. Just check your brain at the door. Nothing to move the Planetary, story along. Just a little night on a case. Just a night. Yeah, like they say, just a little night on Earth. All right? So there you go. Batman Planetary.